Today's July 4th, 2026. Current Bitcoin price is $62,756.
Welcome to the BitBite podcast, your source for news and information about Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space. This podcast is meant for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not financial advice.
Happy Independence Day, Rick.
Happy Independence Day to you too, Hans. 250.
250. Yeah, it's and we apologize for not having recorded in a while. I wasn't feeling too good. But we are back at it and hopefully getting back to somewhat of a more regular schedule. I mean, on the plus side, not a whole lot has happened. We did hit a low, right? What did we get down to? 57?
57-ish.
And you were talking about that, like, what was our recent high been? It hasn't been that great, right?
Yeah, we were talking about this year's high. Was like in the almost 80, but not quite, like 78, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been,
in it.
We had how many weeks did we have there where it was like kind of looking like kind of positive?
Yeah, we had like 6 green weeks in a row. I mean, so it slowly went from 60 to 78. I think it was 6 or 7, something like that.
Yeah. And
which is pretty rare in Bitcoin, especially in kind of a bear market.
Yeah. And we've gone from, I mean, just even this price action right now, we were at 57,000 just 48 hours ago. And now we're back up into 62. So, I mean, that's going to, what are our theoreticals looking like? What's happening right now?
Well, first theoretical purchase back in October 2023. $3,000 could have bought you 0.0885 Bitcoin, and that price, a $3,000 investment is now worth $5,554. Man, that hurts.
That does hurt.
Because, I mean, really, we're right at half of the all-time peak of Bitcoin back in October right now. So
yeah,
we've seen this hit $11,000.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, still. $3,000 into $5,554, not shabby. Second theoretical, not as good. That one was purchased back in April 19th, 2024, right at the halving. God, if you would put $1,000 down, that would have bought you 0.0156 Bitcoin. And that price, or that investment with today's price is now worth $982. So you've lost $18 from $1,000.
That's crazy. I mean, it's
that's
so nuts.
It's a 2-year-old investment too. So
yeah. Well, and I think that's the part that's wild to me is like, that's been 2 years ago already. And I remember whenever we talked about that, it's like, let's go ahead and let's lock in a theoretical and see what that looks like a little bit further down the road. It's weird to see. I mean, there's so much going on. Economically speaking, I mean, the stock market, everybody's just raving about how well it's doing. What is the Dow Jones is at 52,905. So stocks are high. Not necessarily like people aren't doing great, but stock market's doing good because, like Pam Bondi would say, we're at over 50,000, right?
Yeah, no need to pay attention to Epstein or anything like that.
Nothing like that. That don't matter. None. The VIX is down, which typically we've seen a correlation where if the VIX is going negative, Bitcoin goes positive. The volatility. And that's typically true of like what we're seeing right now. There's, the NASDAQ is at 29,000. So it's down a little bit right now. It's down 1%, 1.6, almost 2. Apple sitting at 4.8%. Tesla's at negative 7.4. Netflix is at 4% increase. Oil right now is actually, wow. Oil is down to $68.77 a barrel.
Wow. That's kind of basically like pre-Iran war oil prices. You're not seeing that at the pump though.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't see that at the pump. I don't know. Gold's at 4,174 and silver's at 62. So, I mean,
Yeah, it's kind of a weird lull. I don't know. I think the economy's full of hot air. People are hurting, and one of these days, that bubble that is known as the stock market, the S&P, is going to pop.
Yeah.
When is it? That's just my question.
What is it?
I don't know if it's going to, or when is it going to pop?
Yeah. What is that crazy from Burry? The market will stay solvent longer than.
Yeah, markets can stay solvent longer than you, or irrational longer than you can stay solvent. So,
Yeah. That's it. That's the one. We were looking at the outflows too before we kind of began, and I know we did talk about how July 2nd we're seeing some positive inflows, but man, it has been a sea of red prior to that up until actually it looks like the last time we recorded. Is that right? Record June 16th?
Basically.
Well, almost, yeah, because we recorded the 14th.
Well, there's one positive day. But it was like a 10.2, which is like kind of like
nothing
lateral.
Yep.
Though July 2nd, it went up pretty decent, 223, but it's not making up for all the sea of red before that.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 positive days in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah. A big lead up that we're kind of talking about before we got going today is it looks like Citi nuked their Bitcoin forecast and ETF inflows. So considering the recent price action, we'll have to see how it goes. But they basically, Citi slashed its 12-month Bitcoin target from 112,000 to 82,000. So they're expecting over the next 12 months, like the high will be 82,000 for Bitcoin, as opposed to 112, what they had before. They also reset their ETF inflow assumptions from 10 billion to 0, signaling institution demand is no longer a reliable tailwind. So right now they're citing a bear case of 53,000 for the year, which I think may be a little high compared to where we may go. I didn't know if we would get really stay below 60, really. I mean, we've seen dips below it. I think we were talking about that last episode where we get to 59 and we tend to kind of rebound, but then we did see kind of a prolonged protraction below that, right?
Yeah.
Basically, they're saying that the bear case of 53,000 if recession plus ETF outflows continue, and we'll have to see. I don't know if July 2nd is a trend change. I wouldn't expect that it would be, but part of that is also because the U.S. is kind of dragging their feet on the Clarity Act.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's the Senate, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, I just don't see the Clarity Act passing before the midterm elections in November. And, and that's the thing with the midterm elections usually coincides with the bear market, at least every 4 years, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to be in up for a bumpy ride. And if it doesn't get passed and the Democrats take over, like I think is going to happen, man, things could get ugly.
I agree. And I think I've stated on the podcast before, I do hope that it gets passed prior to that happening. But I don't know. It seems like anything that Trump touches, Democrats don't want to have anything to do with. So whether that's AI, cryptocurrencies, anything like that. They don't want to endorse it. They don't want to touch it. It's all bad. So I don't know. One of the things that kind of came out of this too was that, and part of the reason why I think we're starting to see kind of a little bit of a rebound, is there was a lot of fear with possible rate hike coming up at the next Fed meeting at the end of July. But the jobs report that just came out said that we only had 57,000 jobs added as opposed to 110. So that's increasing the odds that not necessarily a rate hike, but will stay steady, but we won't see a cut, which is kind of interesting because Trump really wanted this Fed chair there to be able to cut rates, right?
That's why he was all pissed off at Jerome Powell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, if it was up to Trump, he'd just overcook the economy and then step out and
like, I'm out. Deuces.
I'm out. Good luck. Next guy, JD. Adios.
Adios.
Well, that's assuming that JD could even win now. I mean, I think basically since the war with Iran, he's taken, well, they've all just taken a pummeling in the poll numbers. And man, all I can say is I'm just glad Gavin Newsom's not in any of the polls.
Yeah, he wants to be though.
Oh, for sure. He's just too creepy.
What was it? He was selling like Trump knee pads. Do you remember that?
Is that what he was selling?
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
I don't know. He's trying to, I don't know. He's trying to match that energy that Trump has. And he's so slimy.
No, dude, he's like, I mean, he does look like Christian Bale's, American Psycho, just older,
That greasy hair that he's got. Yeah.
Greasy hair. Yeah, that's him.
I don't know. It's such a mess. And I don't know. I think of all the optimism we had going into this presidential term, and not a whole lot has come out of that. I mean, he got his big, beautiful bill passed, which all we know is, that he just continued the spending. Like, that hasn't stopped. Doge wasn't really able to make the cuts that it needed to.
No cuts, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, other than USAID, I guess that's about it. But that was like a day one thing.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
It's been, whatever coalition that Trump had, it's pretty well fractured, I think. And it's Humpty Dumpty. It's fell off the wall and there's no putting it back together.
No. And then if the Dems win at the midterms, he's going to go into a lame duck session basically for the rest of his term. So.
Honestly, do you think he'll survive? I think they've impeached him 3 times in his previous 4 years.
Yeah.
They're going to go into impeachment stuff on him, but they're going to have things to go after him on this time.
Yeah, that's true.
So he might not even make it. Maybe JD does get it just because he's
survivor
breaking out. Well, no, he just Trump is impeached and removed from office because that's never happened.
Yeah.
What? I guess it was like Van Buren after. Was it Van Buren? Or was it Johnson after Lincoln? My history is kind of rough right now.
Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Adams, Jackson, Van Buren, Harrison, Tyler, Polk, Taylor, Fillmore, Pierce, Buchanan, Lincoln, Johnson.
Johnson was the first one to get impeached. He didn't get removed. And then we had to wait like another 130 years to get Clinton. He got impeached.
He didn't get removed.
Then he didn't get removed. He got impeached, but not removed. Well, actually, the one person in there is the caveat is Richard Nixon.
But he resigned on his own. Yeah.
Yeah, he was about to get articles of impeachment were coming up, and he stepped down. So I guess that was in the early 70s. And then, but then Bill Clinton had his thing, didn't get removed. Trump got impeached twice while in office, and he got impeached the 3rd time for the January 6th thing. But, he was already out of office, so what was going to happen? I think they were going to try and maybe disqualify him from running again.
Yeah.
That didn't happen, obviously. So, they tried. But you know what? They're going to have, I don't know what they're going to go with, but they have some things to go on with, maybe with the war in Iran. I don't really think they're going to go after him for Epstein stuff.
I don't think so either. I don't think they'll touch that either. I think that's toxic for both sides of the aisle, and I don't think they'll try and touch on either one of those things.
Exactly. You can't. No, Washington D.C. They can't throw any stones at their glass houses when it comes to that kind of behavior.
No, absolutely. I agree with you on that. And one of the other things too, like we were talking about the Clarity Act before, and right now, like there's supposed to be today, and I doubt they're doing anything today in Washington other than partying. But a compromise text for the Clarity Act is expected to be around July 4th. The Senate floor vote is likely to be later in July before the August recess. It still needs to capture 60 votes to clear a filibuster. And then apparently there's a New York field event hearing coming up on July 17th. And I mean, it passed the House back in 2025. So it's done that already. They need to get the Senate to get that stuff together. But basically, I mean, the act, just for a reminder, would permanently classify Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP as commodities, locking in regulatory clarity. Now, you were saying before, like, Bitcoin doesn't need that.
No.
Kind of expand on that a little bit.
Well, I just think, I mean, it's just giving normies, like I call them, and the institutions, the warm and fuzzies that go, it's regulated, it's something we can get into. Honestly, I think sometimes in the long run, these kind of regulations are actually detrimental. Yeah. But, I mean, I think one of these days, Bitcoin is going to be, we're basically, whatever you want to call this economic system we have, with the central bank and, fiat currencies, it's basically a Titanic, and all we're doing is shuffling deck chairs until it goes down. That's Michael Saylor said that before. And that's what we're doing. And Bitcoin is one of those life rafts to get off this ship before it goes down and you get drugged down with it. So I think it just kind of gets more accepted, but I don't know. I don't think it's required.
No, I completely agree with you. And I think you're right on the whole, for the institutions and for, the typical boomers that are sitting there looking at their 401k and they want to get, or not even their 401ks, their retirement funds. And they're like, whoa, I want to get some exposure to Bitcoin, especially if Apple, for example, starts to edit their treasury reserves, stuff like that. But nobody's really done that yet. I mean, we already know of Strategy, obviously, which is kind of the biggest kid on the block. And they're still sitting at 847,363 Bitcoin. And it kind of freaked the market out. I remember we recorded a couple episodes ago when Strategy had sold, and they sold a very small amount compared to what they have. And the market was just tanking from it. And so I think now, I mean, Saylor's Strategy, they seem to have more Bitcoin than most countries, with as large a supply they have. I think they've effectively have 4% of all the Bitcoin supply out there. And I mean, they did sell, and Saylor has forewarned they may end up selling again, but he's got to sell basically to allow the flywheel, as they call it, for them to be able to purchase more, pay off debt, and kind of continue the system together. I don't know. It's interesting to see with Strategy how they've kind of performed that, because I mean we've talked about it before. Like, he's got everything out on the table. Like, and they basically now they're just a Bitcoin holding company.
No, that's basically, they've written the playbook now. We might see some companies trying to adopt it later, but it just depends on how successful it is. I think long term it's going to be successful. It's just whether they survive some of the lulls that happen, and that's basically what they're doing. They're battening down the hatches, because we are there's one 4-year cycle, and you start off this cycle with the year in bear market. So yeah, it's just a matter of surviving that
time. Yeah, no, I completely agree. And it's interesting how Strategy is no longer just a Bitcoin vacuum. They're basically kind of the liquidity manager for Bitcoin. They're going to kind of, they'll rake it in as they see prices come down. I'm sure if Bitcoin held, and we may even see the Strategy bought when Bitcoin was at 57. It just hasn't been announced yet, but it's kind of a crazy time. And I wish there was more news to kind of bring about, but I think everything is in such turmoil. I don't know how else to put it. And I know a lot of people that may listen to this podcast, they may be big Trump supporters. And they may not like it when we kind of dish on that, but it's one of those things. Like, I'm just being realist with some of this stuff, man. Like, the stock market's doing great, but people are still not doing well. I don't know what credit card debt is at now, but it's just through the roof. People are starting to default on car loans. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's not good. And then like the jobs report, like 57,000 jobs added. And I'd be kind of curious what the breakdown is. You know, how much of that is government jobs? How much of that is hospitality? Because hospitality has been such a big one. It's like, that's not careers.
No.
I mean, you can make a career out of it. I'm not going to diminish anybody that's doing hospitality work. Like, whatever, you're working, good job. But that's something we want to see.
But it's not something you'd want to feed a family off of.
No, if you are, then you're struggling. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll have to see. There's a rumor going around that on July 1st, Strategy sold 491 Bitcoin. It's unconfirmed still so far, but we'll have to kind of see. And that's kind of about it for right now. We still don't know for sure if the peace deal with the Strait of Hormuz is done. It's still kind of their memorandum of understanding, whatever they want to call it. That's still kind of in play, right?
Yeah. They had 60 days from that signing of that. So, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But we know that Israel's trying to sabotage that any way they can.
Yeah, what is up with them continuing to bomb, even though they're not supposed to be doing any, I don't know.
Well, here's the deal. They tried to get every president since Clinton to do it. And that's something that even Hunter Biden said recently in an interview. It was kind of funny the way he put it. It's like, they tried to get everyone to invade Iran, and nobody's done it except Trump. And now that they got Trump to do it, he's like backing off because he's getting hammered. I mean, I don't know if you can tell how things are going, but it's not going good for the Americans. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it's all rosy for the Iranians, but they are fighting for a lot more than we are. A lot more is at stake for them.
All you've got to do is look at Ukraine, man. Like, how long has this been protracted with this battle against Russia? Like, when you're fighting for somebody's home turf, things are way different.
Yep.
And especially if you're not going to put boots on the ground.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's and that's the thing. If they just want it to keep going, because this is probably their last chance to topple Iran. They've basically toppled every other country around them.
Yeah.
Except Iran. So it is what it is.
Yep. And I think the whole no new wars and all this other stuff. I don't know. We've been hearing that Iran had nuclear material for so long, and Netanyahu continued to push that a couple weeks away, a couple months away for years. So, like I said, and I know a lot of our listeners, they probably don't want to hear that. They like to hear that this was necessary. But yeah, I'm not sure where I stand on that anymore.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't necessary, and we've also lost. So that's, yeah, pretty devastating. If it was truly necessary, we'd be committing the boots on the ground right now.
Yeah.
And then have the American support.
Yep. No, I agree. Yeah. So that's our 4th of July, 250th celebration for America episode of the podcast.
No, I do love America. You know,
I do too.
Sound like some crazy commie talking crap about our leaders. I'm not talking crap about our military. It's more about the people that are sending them to places they shouldn't be.
Yeah. No, and I mean, you've always kind of aligned with Ron Paul in that regard for his foreign policy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You could say that. I just don't know. I don't know. With how crazy America is acting, you know, the big, beautiful bill and no spending cuts, the devaluation of the dollar. I don't know how much longer this union's going to last, but I'm going to enjoy it while it's still around.
Yeah, I agree. But thank you all for listening. We hope, you know what, spend some time outside, touch some grass, watch some fireworks, have a burger for me, for Christ's sakes, because I can't have one right now. and maybe a hot dog.
Poor Holmes. Poor Holmes. He's eating mush.
You eat mush. Yeah. And some hot sauce. Get some hot sauce in there. Ooh, some hot wings. Man, that'd be...
Oh, man.
Yeah, tell me about it. I was in the deep South, and man, I wanted to go get some good comfort food, and I couldn't do it. So
some soul food, man.
Some soul food. They know how to make it. But thank you all for listening.
All right, bye.